Heavenly Father, as we gather this evening, we thank you for the gift of a new school year in Dorchester District 2. We ask for your presence, guidance, and protection over our entire district, every school, every classroom, every person. We pray for our students. May they enter each day with hope, curiosity, and confidence. Help them feel safe, valued, and encouraged to become who you've created them to be. We lift up every teacher and teacher's aide. Grant them wisdom, strength, and patience as they shape minds and change lives. Bless our guidance counselors and school psychologists as they support the emotional and mental well-being of our students and staff. Give them discernment and compassion in every interaction. Watch over our school administrators that they may lead with integrity, vision, and servant hearts. We pray for the hands and hearts behind the scenes, our bus drivers who safely carry our children to and from school, our food service providers who nourish bodies and brighten days, our school nurses who offer calm in the chaos, our school resource officers who serve and protect with courage and care, our adult education staff who open doors for lifelong learners and second chances. We also lift up the parents and guardians, give them strength and peace, and let them feel supported as vital partners in their child's success. And finally, Lord, we pray over the school board and district leaders. Let their decisions reflect wisdom, unity, and the best interest of every student and staff member. May this school year be filled with joy, growth, safety, and community, the Dorchester District 2 way. In your name we pray.
You all rise and join me in reciting our Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening, all, and welcome to the July 28th Dorchester District 2 board meeting. I just wanted to let you all know that I do have Mrs. Bates with us via the phone, and she is logged in, and so she will be participating in the meeting. At this time, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda and meeting minutes.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Guthrie. Do we have a second? Seconded by Ms. Powell. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Okay, motion carries 7 in favor. All right, first item, or the next item on our agenda this evening are our district highlights. We have Mr. Brian Bohannon to bring us those. Looks like we have a lot of great stuff coming.
Dr. Wimberly, Mr. Doherty, board members, that's exactly right. We've got a great crowd in here, and there's no better way to have a good crowd than with lots and lots of student and school achievement. Most of this is going to be handled. I'm going to bring up Dr. Emily Duplantis to run us through the first of these. I'll catch the last one and wrap us up.
Thank you. Good evening, Board Chair Wimberly, Superintendent Doherty, and esteemed board members. Tonight, I am excited to share several celebrations highlighting the outstanding achievements of our CTE students. Please join me in welcoming the following students as we recognize their recent accomplishments. Dorchester District 2 and the CTE department proudly recognizes Valerie Acosta. Come on up. A 2025 graduate of Somerville High School for completing the Trident Technical College Youth Apprenticeship Program with an education aid focus. This 2-year program included over 1,000 hours of paid work in our schools, 25 free college credits, and recognition from the U.S. Department of Labor. Valerie is the first student to complete this Grow Our Own Educator Initiative, which launched last year. While working in DD2, Valerie supported both Rawlings Middle School of the Arts and Sayers Elementary. Not Sayers, it was Span Elementary. I just realized that. In the fall, Valerie will proudly be attending USC Columbia as a part of the Teaching Fellows program, pursuing a degree in elementary education, and hopes to graduate in 3 years thanks to her Trident Technical College credits. We look forward to welcoming Valerie back to DD2 as a future educator. This year, 31 DD2 students participated in the Youth Apprenticeship Program across the Tri-County area through our continued partnership with Trident. Thank you, Valerie, and congratulations. Next up, we have the team from Ashley Ridge, HOSA. HOSA, Future Health Professionals, is a global student-led organization recognized by the U.S. Department of Education and the Health Science Education Division of ACTE. HOSA empowers students to become leaders in the global health community through education, collaboration, and hands-on experiences in health-related fields. Its mission is to promote career opportunities in the healthcare industry and to enhance the delivery of quality healthcare to all people. Students qualify for the International Leadership Conference by placing first, second, or third at the State Leadership Conference held in March. Students from across the state demonstrate their knowledge and skills in health science, leadership, and teamwork through events that reflect real-world healthcare practices and standards. Last month, DD2 students were among 12,900 students competing at the international level from 54 chartered associations, including chapters from American Samoa, Canada, China, Korea, Puerto Rico, and Vietnam. This evening, we would like to congratulate the public health team's second place win at the international conference. In front of us, we have Kayla Wilcox, Lily Edwards, Annabelle Salcido, and Isabel Jakowski. Congratulations, ladies. Next up, we have Ashley Ridge, Future Farmers of America. The National FFA organization, formerly known as the Future Farmers of America, is the largest career and technical student organization in the country with over 1 million student members nationwide. Over 300 of those young leaders walk through the doors of Ashley Ridge High School each year. FFA is an intracurricular organization that makes positive differences in the lives of students by developing their potential for premier leadership, personal growth, and career success. Our students develop this potential by engaging with the community, challenging themselves to exceed expectations, and learning about agriculture through hands-on experiences at Ashley Ridge. This year, the Ashley Ridge FFA chapter competed in several events at the state FFA convention in Greenville, South Carolina. Their accomplishments illustrated to all of the South Carolina FFA the caliber of students and rigor of academics here not only in DD2, but at Ashley Ridge High School. At this time, they're already in front of us, so they don't need to come down, but I would like to recognize Ag Communications team, who placed second place. That team consisted of Berlin Campana, Abigail Daniels, Elise Gardner, and Casey Trueluck. Also, I'd like to note that Abigail Daniels placed third in employment skills and earned her state degree. Parliamentary Procedures placed third place. That consisted of a team of Peyton Bird, Berlin Campana, Abigail Daniels, Elise Gardner, Addison Mooney, and Ashley Walters. Agri-Science Fair, second place in their division. For Environmental and Natural Resource Division 3, Patrick Russell for testing water purity. Plant Science Division 6, Olivia Jones and Ashley Walters, comparing lettuce growths. And for the floriculture team, placed third place, and that consisted of Olivia Jones again, Berlin Campana again, and Elise Gardner again. So very well done, and thank you for representing DD2 so well. Next up, we would like to recognize the Volvo Accelerator Program graduates. Since 2023, Ashley Ridge High School has proudly partnered with Volvo Car Charleston alongside 3 other area high schools to bridge the gap between education and industry. In 2024, Volvo launched the Volvo Accelerator Program, VAP, providing graduating seniors with hands-on training, real-world simulations, and a pathway to full-time employment. Despite several unexpected challenges this year, 3 of our Ashley Ridge students successfully completed all program requirements, including technical skills development, teamwork, and a hands-on pre-interview. One of those students also became the first to participate in Volvo's new marketing internship. helping capture content and share the VAP experience through social media. This powerful partnership is opening doors for our students and preparing them for meaningful careers. We are deeply grateful to Volvo for their continued investment in our youth and excited for what the future holds. It's hard to get students in the summertime, so I would like to recognize the 3 graduates who were Jordan Gadsden, Brian Yates, and Rory Collins. All right, and last but certainly not least, our Boeing interns. You can make your way up front now. This summer, a select group of students from Dorchester District 2 participated in the Boeing High School Internship Program, an incredible opportunity to gain hands-on experience in STEM, manufacturing, and supply chain management. Boeing's internships pair students with employee mentors, offering insight into real-world projects, cutting-edge technology, and the inner workings of the aerospace industry. From facility tours and skills training to contributing to actual projects, our students built valuable knowledge and connections that will benefit them well beyond high school. This year, Boeing expanded the program to include supply chain management, reflecting the growing need for diverse talent across all areas of their organization. These paid internships not only prepare students for future career opportunities, but also open doors to long-term success in high-demand fields. In front of you, we have a combination of the following students: Amir President, Chastity Wigfall, Christian Brownlow, Deshaun Jenkins, Devin Garcia, Gabe Dela Cruz, Jeremiah Champagne, Jesse Clark, who I recently found out today was offered a full-time job at Boeing as well. Kellen Fernandez was also offered a full-time job at Boeing, correct? Yes. Logan Deason, Lukasz Klabnik, Malik Grant, Nicholas Kimmel, and Rudy Aguilar. So we give them another round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Duplantis. One more round of applause for all these students. Now, students, I forgot to mention before you run off, Dr. Duplantis has certificates of appreciation from the Board of Trustees that she will distribute in the lobby, assuming you don't all want to stay for the entire board meeting. But hang on real quick, we have one more board highlight. To close out our highlights, I'm proud to share that Fort Dorchester High School has been named a Data Trailblazer by the South Carolina Education Oversight Committee. Fort Dorchester is the only high school in the state to earn this award in 2025. Data Trailblazer schools assist educators in accessing, interpreting, and communicating data while demonstrating improved student outcomes. They help families interpret their students' grades and assessment scores, establish and maintain a culture of school-wide data-informed decision-making with a goal of improved student outcomes. Thanks to efforts led by Fort's leadership team, they developed new systems for collecting and analyzing academic, attendance, and behavioral data, efforts that had a tremendously positive impact on student outcomes and school culture, with gains in every measured category, including a graduation rate of 95.5%, and a 40% improvement in their attendance rate. They believe these outcomes were key contributors to their recognition as a Palmetto's Finest finalist last year. Congratulations to the entire Fort Dorchester community on this outstanding achievement. I believe we have Principal Tripp Aldridge in the room. Come on down, Tripp. Mr. Aldridge, would you like to give a special shout out to former Assistant Principal Brent Hamrick, currently Principal of East Edisto Middle School, and the contributions that he had in getting this award taken care of. So, plug for Brent. This concludes our district highlights. If you'd like to make a polite and quiet egg, oh yeah, they're taking the hint. Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you for your patience. We will continue with the agenda. Next items are board committee reports. And first up, we have our policy committee. We will have Ms. King present these policies.
These policies are for the second reading. We have ARJICJR, possession, use of personal electronic devices or district-owned devices. We have policy IHAF, it's the arts education, as well as policy IHAG, music education. We have policy IHBF for homebound instruction, as well as IHBFR, homebound instruction.
All right, thank you, Ms. King. These, as these are coming out of committee, we do not need a second. So at this time, I would just ask if we have any questions or discussion. All right. Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Okay, motion carries 7 in favor. All right, next we have our Finance Committee. Mr. Guthrie, you have anything for us this evening?
Nothing to report. I don't know if Mr. Lee has anything to report.
Still recuperating from passing the budget. Looking forward to tonight's update to see how we ended the year and going forward to the new year. So nothing else to report.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Guthrie and Mr. Lee. All right, then we have our Facilities Committee. Mr. Farnsworth.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Facilities Committee did meet this afternoon at 4:15. I would encourage folks to go back and watch that live stream if they're interested. A lot of good information. Of course, facilities working really, really hard over the summer. I know we've got some more updates later in the meeting from Mr. Doherty, but that's all I've got. Anything for Ms. Powell?
All right.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agendas are public comments on agenda items. And just as a reminder, public comments on agenda items are allowed as a regular agenda item. Speakers may address only items printed on the agenda for that particular meeting. Speakers are required to complete a sign-in card 5 minutes prior to the beginning of the board meeting. Speakers will be recognized by the chairman to speak for no longer than 3 minutes per speaker. The board has set aside 20 total minutes for public comments, and speakers must remain behind the podium at all times and must not remove the microphone or other equipment from their location at the podium. This is per the policy BEDH, public participation at meetings. Okay, and so I would ask all our public comments speakers to please come up and around down the aisle to access the podium and microphone. So this evening we do have one public comment on an agenda item, and that is from Mrs. Brooke Hamilton.
Hey, I am commenting on the student enrollment recommendations that's on the agenda. So I don't know if that's appropriate, but that's what I wrote a comment on today. So I'm aware that the board's meeting to discuss transfer request appeals today, and as a parent of a student who was previously allowed a transfer request and denied this year, I would like to request that the board take a few things into account when reviewing these requests. Likely these are all taken into account, but I thought it would be amiss if I didn't come and speak on behalf. So first and foremost, school starts next week. We initially placed these requests back in May, and so you can only imagine the amount of stress that this is causing our families and our children. So I hope you will review each request on an individual basis and take into account the impact the decision will have on the student, the family, and the classmates. I implore that we do not make sweeping generalizations with regard to transfer requests and examine the ability of the requested school to accommodate each student. While some schools are overcrowded, and this has to be taken into account, there are also transfer requests to schools that are not overcrowded and have space for the students who are requested to attend that school. While I know past requests are not typically taken into account, if a request has been granted multiple years and there has not been a major change such as rezoning or a sudden overcapacity, I would hope that you would uphold previous transfer requests and not unnecessarily uproot children from these schools that they have been attending if the space is not needed for others. Please consider the financial implications of transfer denials. After-school options for working parents are hard to come by, and in-school aftercare options are already full. For those that are requesting a renewal of a previously approved transfer request, please take into consideration that these schools have become a part of our family. I can only speak to elementary schools, as that's where my children reside, but I strive to be as engaged as possible with the school through PTA and school events. We've established relationships with the students, teachers, administrations, and other parents, and these relationships are vital to the success of both our individual children and our communities. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Hamilton. All right, the next item on our agenda is the board chair's report. And again, I have a list of some upcoming dates. I believe that everyone already has these on your calendar, but this is just a friendly reminder. The next thing we have is our convocation this coming Thursday morning, and I know that we are all looking forward to that and excited about the big kickoff. From what I have heard, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope to see you all there. And then the next conference we have, the SCSBA School Law Conference, is August 23rd and 24th. And I believe it is not too late to register for that if you are interested. And then the only other item we have on here right now is our town hall meeting in October 24th. But with school starting, I am sure we are going to have lots of other exciting upcoming events. So we are all looking forward to that. All right, and the next item on our agenda is our superintendent's report. So I'm going to let Mr. Doherty take over.
Yes, Madam Chair and rest of the board, we have several items for you tonight on the superintendent's report. The first is the summer program update. We have a local board approved courses, school readiness report, unaudited financial statements, and then personnel report and student enrollment recommendations. But first, we'll start with our Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, Mrs. Katie Barker, and she's going to talk about our summer programs this summer. So, Mrs. Barker.
Good evening. Make sure I can use the clicker. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I just wanted to first, before I start to go over our summer program update, give a huge shout out to our assistant directors and our leaders at each school that really organize all of our summer programs. You'll see, based off of the numbers, it is no small feat. And even though I get to celebrate and share this with you, it is really their work behind the scenes that make all of this happen. So they deserve that shout out. So thank you to them. So I'll start with our elementary summer reading camp. If you remember, this is part of the Read to Succeed law, and we target second and third graders here. So it is a total of 20 instructional days that are all focused on literacy. So from the time the students arrive until the time they go home, it is all literacy focused. Transportation and meals are provided for all elementary students that participate. So you'll see up there some invited numbers. We invite students for summer reading camp based off of our winter map scores. So you'll see pretty high numbers. If you remember in the spring, we shared that bar had risen for the Read to Succeed retention law this year. So we, as you can see, invited more students and had more students participate than we have in years past. So you'll see we had 93 second graders and 194 third graders attend summer reading camp, spread over 2 sites. And out of all of those third graders that invited and were attended, we had 24 students at the end of summer reading camp that didn't meet the cutoff score from the state for the Read to Succeed third grade retention. So 24 students that will repeat third grade based on their literacy progress over the course of this year. So we've been in contact with those schools and those parents and working closely to ensure that they'll get what they need this year. So middle school, same thing, the schedule runs very similar to elementary school. This summer recovery for middle school is focused on recovering credits for students that didn't pass the courses during middle school. They mainly use Edmentum courseware at the middle school for credit recovery, and again, transportation and meals are provided. We're super excited about these numbers. 310 students, middle school students, were assigned to summer recovery, and 292 of them served their credit recovery time. So only 18 students that didn't attend and complete. So you'll see the breakdown by grade level. And those 292 students over the course of summer recovery completed 499 courses. So you'll see that several of those students had more than one course that they had to work on credit recovery over the summer for. We did have some special circumstances in middle schools where maybe our students couldn't attend the assigned. We hold all of our middle school summer recovery at one location, but for different reasons, maybe students could not attend the summer recovery, so our middle schools really chipped in to meet those families' needs and help those students where they needed it so that they could still get their summer recovery done, even if they couldn't attend at that specific site. They served those kids at their homeschool site where needed. And then these are our high school numbers. You'll see enrollments again. A lot of students may have more than one specific course. At the high school level, it can be for initial credit or credit recovery. This includes all dual enrollment courses, and you can just see them broken down over the different content areas for a total of 2,363 course enrollments over the course of summer school for high school. So you can see elementary, middle, and high, we were able to really assist a lot of students to catch up, recover credits that they needed to, or offer some initial credits where needed. I think that might be it for me. Any questions about summer programs? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Barker. And now I'd like to call on Mrs. Christy Sealander. She is the Assistant Director for high schools, and she's going to talk a little bit about the local approved courses on Orchestra 6 honors and 8 honors at our middle schools. So, Mrs. Sealander.
Right. Good evening, Dr. Wimberly, Mr. Doherty, and board members. We do have one request for a local board approved course for the beginning of this year. I know I was just here in May doing our courses for this year and renewing, but we have a good problem, which is where we have students in orchestra who want to continue on past the level of 5 honors. So that means they're typically taking it more than once in a school year. So we're excited that we have such a thriving fine arts program in our high schools. So this really is it's just really a continuation of a program we already have. We do have classes in the fine arts up to level 8 or 9 honors already, and this just gives the students the opportunity to continue the honors level for orchestra as they become juniors and seniors.
So at this time, I'm asking the board for a motion to approve this new course. So thank you, Mrs. Sealander.
All right, board members, at this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the local board course as presented.
So moved.
All right, motion made by Mr. Guthrie, seconded by Ms. King. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Sorry. You good? Did you have any questions? I did not. Okay. Motion carries 7 in favor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sealander. And now we're going to do a little bit of a different report as we talked about. I think Mrs. or Dr. Wimberly talked about the beginning of school. We're going to talk a little bit about school readiness report, about our facilities, operations, and how we're getting ready for the 2025-26 school year. And we'll start with Mr. Jeff Smith, Director of Facilities and Maintenance.
Good evening. Just wanted to give a brief update, and obviously the first line up there is what the most important line, that all schools will be ready for students on August 6th. In facilities, we don't really have it wasn't a large summer. It was very short, in my opinion, so we're going to be doing projects year-round at this point. So we've got several projects that are just actually kicking off. Ashley Ridge, we're actually going to start putting 13 HVAC units on tomorrow. Should have no issue with school starting. We'll get them all done within 2 days. And Newington's parking lot, they're still paving as we speak, moving to the back tomorrow. So we'll be doing that right up to school starting, but we'll have everything ready for August 6th and for the first day. We've already spoken to the principals, and if we have to make arrangements for teachers to park in certain areas of the campus while we're finishing up, that'll be done as well. The security vestibules have been like a fight constantly. I think I mentioned this in our facilities meeting, but they are telling me they'll be done this week, so I'm hoping on that. I know all the material is already on site, so it's just a matter of installation. And like I said, yeah, Oak Brook Middle's got a few units that we haven't got to change out yet with their project, but we've got backup plans in place in case we don't get those units put in before the first day of school. We'll keep the old units running and reschedule a different time to do it. But right now, we're feeling very good about where we are overall as a district, and I don't foresee any issues to stop school from starting on the 6th.
And I just want to say thank you to Mr. Smith. I know it takes a lot of coordination and communication with all these facilities and all these projects that get done in such a small window of time. So
very few projects. That's not many.
And I think we talked about it at the earlier meeting. How many requisitions or work orders did you have placed this summer?
1,400 for the summer.
And how many did you guys get completed?
1,000 complete so far.
Wow, that's amazing. And I know you said that you'll probably be able to get the other 400 completed probably by
Some
time
will be
school.
done by the time school starts, yes.
Well, so thank you for doing all that.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Mr. Kenny Farrell, Assistant Superintendent for Operations Facilities, and Kenny's going to talk a little bit about the items that he's working on to prepare for the summer.
Once again, good evening, everybody. But once again, Jeff did a great job, Tony. There's a lot of moving pieces in our buildings and the age of our buildings and what they do in the summer, like the rest of the departments I'm getting ready to talk about. Just an amazing job. Athletics, we start athletics on Thursday, July 31st, the kickoff. All fall sports, our fields are ready, our gyms are ready, and our athletes are ready. So athletics is kicking off. Food service, we've made our transition to Aramark. We've had our weekly meetings. Our team has met with them or teleconference with them on every Thursday. It's just been outstanding, building that relationship with them, their attention to detail, their attention to what we're saying. We really look forward to that relationship. Our resident manager, we got to meet the principals and the district staff, got to meet her last Monday. Her name is Paula Stepanek. It's a tough one. I'll get it before the end of the year. But we're excited about her. We're excited what she's going to bring as far as building a culture in our food service family. And menus are uploaded. So for the next couple of weeks, you want to see the menu for the first couple of weeks of school. They're ready to go. And our food will be delivered tomorrow and Thursday. So the freezers and refrigerators will be packed, ready for Wednesday. Safety, we've hired all SROs, security, and crossing guards. So we're fully staffed. District-wide radio system is up and ready, so we're excited about that with the communication and the safety we'll be able to do that. Window film has been installed, so we're excited about all those initiatives. Technology, I've been told we are ready to go. Devices are ready to be issued the first day of school, so we're excited about that as well. Transportation, 160 routes. We have 160 drivers. All right, so... Mr. Shope and his team has done a great job, and we just need to continue to push through and work with our drivers and make sure that we create an environment where they're happy. We have 3 of 15 subs, so we're still trying to find some more subs because we are going to have those days where, we get the flu and there's some sickness comes through, so we're trying to beef up that route. But this has been the best in years. So just a shout out to the operation department and all the people who work there because they've really done a great job getting us ready. But we are ready for opening a school. Thank you.
And now I'd like to call up Mr. Kenneth Wilson. He's going to talk a little bit about he and Mr. Scott Matthews. Dr. Wilson's the Assistant Superintendent for Personnel and Student Services, and Mr. Matthews is the Executive Director for Personnel. And so they're going to give us a little bit of update in that department. So
good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So I originally was going to do this by myself, but there's some great news to report tonight. And so I thought our Executive Director of Personnel should be involved in that process as well. So we do have a lot of great news to share with you as it relates to personnel. And our focus tonight will be on personnel and staff development, and not so much on student services overall. And so I'm going to start with Scott, and I know he's going to give kudos to the department, so I'll let him do that.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I want to continue with what Mr. Farrell was saying. It's been a great summer, spring and summer, as we've started to prepare for the 25-26 school year. From a personnel standpoint, I want to give credit to all of our department leaders and our principals. They've all their hiring teams, our department and personnel, all of the district level support. It's just been a really, really nice spring and summer, and I feel like we're in the best place we've been in several years from a personnel standpoint. So I want to continue the good news. I just want to give you a little bit of information, just some fun facts about personnel. We did hire 237 new certified personnel to DD2 this year. So we're excited to have 237 new certified personnel. These are teachers, administrators, anyone who's certified, guidance counselors, anyone who's a certified employee. We've hired 237 new employees, and we've also hired 101 new classified employees to the DD2 team. So we're excited to have these new family members to our DD2 family. We also, just some other tidbits, we've hired 35 of our employees that we've hired certified are from other South Carolina school districts, so they've moved into our district and are going to be joining the DD2 team. And then we have, this is interesting, this is always great to see, we have 12 TAs who've gained certification to become certified teachers. So we're always a district that's promoting growth from within, and we have a lot of people who are doing it. And I think you're going to see as we move forward in the coming years, you're going to see that number continue to grow. And then we even had we've had 7 substitutes, for example, also who've become full-time employees either in the classified realm or certified realm. So excited about that. And some more information about substitutes. You know, we don't always get to report about substitutes, but we have our team members, Lara Hayes and Elena Jackson, who work specifically with our substitute program, are doing a wonderful job. And just some information, we currently have 156 certified substitutes as we begin the 25-26 school year, and 448 non-certified substitutes. And what we've gotten really good at the last year or two is cleaning up our subsystem. It used to be where we would have 1,000 in there, but 500 weren't subbing. So we've gotten really good at making sure that we keep those numbers are active folks who are subbing. So we're excited about that. And then some very positive news. We did some looking at data from the sub rates for the fill rates from 24-25. If you remember, some of you, yes, you all remember, back during the COVID days when we were looking at fill rates at 40 and 50%, and now this past school year, we averaged, every month we averaged between 91 and 93% fill rates. So that's just a little bit of exciting news, and I'm going to let Dr. Wilson continue to share more exciting news.
And I also want to thank the board because the substitute initiative, you remember a few years back, it was to keep our subsystem in-house versus outsourcing it. And so that has really paid off for us in a great way. So our next slide is about professional development. So we've had a lot of professional development over the summer. Nothing happens around here without professional development. There's always PD taking place all the time. So we've had 750 staff members who have attended professional development over the summer, and it's been presented by our curriculum leaders, our teachers, our ITS, and also our content specialists. And some of the highlights over the summer, onboarding, we could talk about that for a very long time because it involves every content area. Classified and certified staff members are involved in that process. We also have a Capturing Kids' Hearts initiative that we continue with training throughout the summer. Lots of curriculum writing led by our CNI team that took place over the summer. Mentor training for those who will be assisting our induction teachers. And of course, we had induction training as well. And I believe Ms. Powell was able to join us the first day of our second group of induction teachers who were over at the RISE facility. And then we also had teacher evaluation training over the summer and substitute training. And we are still training, probably up until the first day we begin. And after convocation, we start training again. We don't stop. The next slide is in reference to vacancies. I'm sure this is what you want to know about. Who's still left, right? So certified vacancies, elementary, we have none. No elementary certified vacancies. We also have no middle school certified vacancies. For our high school, we have 5, and we have coverage plans that are in process of being reviewed, and hopefully we'll be taking those vacancies down as well. And then we have 5.5 special education vacancies as well. And I will say 1.5 of those special education vacancies are at the district level, and 4 of them are at the school level. So we're in a much better situation this year than we were this time last year. Also, in our classified vacancies, we still have some in adult supports, teaching assistants. We have, I believe, 1 secretary position. Talked about those substitute bus drivers, so we still have those. We're looking for 12. And then we have 1 maintenance position. So we're in great shape to start the school year. So everybody who's here just needs to stay. Anybody who wants to come needs to come and fill these vacancies, but we're feeling good about starting out the school year with our schools pretty much fully staffed in all areas. That's it. I think that's it, unless there's some questions.
Well, I just want to say congratulations, thank you. I mean, having a report like this is not easy because we know we have competition elsewhere, but I keep saying what I've said all along. We make them feel like they're welcome, they come, and more will be coming. So soon the next report may say we have no vacancies, and it's all because of the family and the warmth that they feel when they encounter us. So continue to do it. You're doing a great job, and hey, if we had more money, I'd give it to you. We don't have it yet, though.
We certainly want to thank the board for the salary increase from 49 to 51.5. That was significant. We had, of course, the other departments had a 3 to 6% increase as well. And the one thing we've learned is that no matter how we advertise, the best advertisement is word of mouth. And that's what brings the people to Dorchester 2. And those who've left, they tend to come back. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson and Mr. Matthews. And now we'll bring up Ms. Meunier and talk a little bit about where we are, our budget, and where we're at to start the year or ending the year and getting ready to start a new year. So, Ms. Meunier.
Good evening, Board Chair, Board members, and Mr. Doherty. Just a few tidbits for finance. We'll talk about the school report in just a second. But as far as opening school and getting ready, the biggest concern that we had, well, not the biggest, but one of the concerns that we had was that federal funding that was on hold from the federal, from Washington. And over the weekend, it's been released. So we are so happy because some of that money, as Dr. Wilson was talking about, is for professional development and onboarding, which we were thinking of another plan and another funding source to be able to cover those very important needs. But now we'll be able to continue with that same source for professional development. There's also English learners in that, and student support and academic enrichment, and also migrant education. So we're happy that we'll be able to continue those with that same federal money. For our new year, we're now in FY26, and our school and department budgets have been activated. Like a video game, I guess now they're activated, they're set up in the system, and we're ready to go. And then the teacher supply checks, the State Department of Education sends us, as the state includes in their budget, $400 for all certified teachers who are the teacher of record for their classroom. They will receive those $400 checks on the first day of school when they return on this Wednesday. So those are already at the schools. Our finance department's been working hard to continue through the summer, and we're ready to go for the new school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Meunier. And now we'll bring up Mrs. Barker back up and talk a little bit more about curriculum and instruction and a little bit what PD Day and what those first few days or first week is going to look like for our staff and some other items that you need to be aware of when you're talking about the new math standards. So, Mrs. Barker.
Thank you. So first week for teachers or staff, we have 5 full days, and you'll see here kind of how those are divided up. If you remember that the statute was updated this year and gave us a little bit more guidance on that. So our staff development is already in alignment with that, but there was a minor change. Teachers have always gotten 2 work days prior to the opening of school. There was an update over the summer that those work days were required to be 1 full day and 2 half days, or 2 full days, but it couldn't all be half days. So we've been working with principals and also that shouldn't be interrupted. So there shouldn't be meetings that take place during those times. There shouldn't be come to the media center to pick up your stuff. So we've been working with principals to ensure that those 2 work days are uninterrupted, are teacher-directed time to review student data, get their classrooms ready, all of those things. So we feel like we're in a good place there. Our 1.5 days of district staff development will be convocation is the half day, and then on August 1st is all content-specific PD for teachers, for secretaries, really for everyone across the district. So depending on what you teach is where you will report for your content training for that day. So we work really hard to make sure it is timely, something that teachers need to start day 1, and really equip them for a successful school year. So on that note, a lot of our PD on August 1st this year will focus on math because we have stood before you many times over the last several months and shared information about the new math adoption. But just a reminder, we will have new math standards, K-12, all the way up through high school, as well as new textbooks and new curricula across all levels. So that will be a big focus for August 1st, is the updates to those standards, as well as using their new teaching materials and their new high-quality instructional materials from the state. So we are kind of biting our fingernails a little bit because we still have schools that are receiving those textbooks and their instructional materials. They are shipped to us from the state, kind of manages that. But the good news is that all of our teachers and our students have access to all of the digital resources already. So if for some reason anything isn't here by the first day, we feel like we'll still be okay until those materials arrive. So we are good for math textbook rollout and the new math standards. And part of what we're planning for this year is the change in course sequence for high school courses. That's the flow chart at the bottom, and that will just really be something we work through over the next several years through IGPs and things like that. So, and then also just a reminder that middle schools starting this year will only offer 1 high school credit course at the middle schools as recommended by the State Department through the new standards. And then finally, for me, this is always a big question at the beginning of school is how are we looking for our LEAP, our after school program? So we are looking great. Our programs are all full and have a wait list in some grade levels. So Ms. Thomas and her team are interviewing and hiring as fast as they can. And as soon as she gets a position filled, we're taking students off of those wait lists. So she is starting obviously first at the schools that have the longest wait lists so that we can work through those wait lists and hopefully have all students off of the wait list pretty quickly. But of course, staffing within those expected ratios has to come first. So current enrollment, and she said when I was going over this with Ms. Thomas, she was like, well, it's changed 5 or 6 since I posted that 15 minutes ago. And I was like, this is a good, it's like the moving target. This is a good place for now. But you can see that almost 500 of our slots in LEAP are for Dorchester District 2 staff children. So Ms. Thomas is also working through new hires She worked really hard this year to fill those LEAP spots for staff members before we left at the end of the year. So new staff members maybe that weren't here, she's working through that individually with those people on a spot for LEAP. So working on those as they come up. And I think that is it for me, unless you have any questions for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Barker. And one of the last things we'll get into is the school readiness report is our administrative symposium, and this was for 2 days, and we're able to have this at the Low Country Convention Center. And so what we did, our theme this year is Dare to Lead, and that's based on the book from Brene Brown. And one thing that we did a little bit of about an hour and a half of that, and then we were able to break out into 47 unique sessions, and you can see what was offered there on health and safety, law, instructional technology, curriculum connections, personnel, special education, finance, assessment, accountability, community engagement, student services. So again, 66 presenters from the district office, school teams, and outside agencies. Very engaging, and I appreciate everybody that's out there in the crowd. Our district personnel did a great job, and also our content specialists, our ITSs. Everybody did a great job of providing a great event, and somebody could take away a nugget or two from each one. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Farnsworth and Mrs. Bates for coming. They were able to come and launch each day. So Mr. Farnsworth came on the first day on the 21st and was able to give some good nuggets and of leadership to our administrators. And then Mrs. Bates came and was able to give some really nice comments to our administrators on the second day. So we appreciate them coming out and representing the board. Also, if you look at the second part, we were able to have a keynote speaker as Raphael and Serena James as part of the Special Service Parent Liaison. And the one thing that we wanted to talk about was our focus on special services. And, every student matters. And so Mr. James was able to give a perspective of a student with autism who came through the district and about the impact that group had, administrators and teachers on their son. And he's wrote a book about it. His wife actually has a blog on Nile 9 when they found out their child was diagnosed with autism. And so, and then the most powerful piece was when their daughter, who had went through Ashley Ridge, wrote a really nice letter to all the administrators of what it meant for them to care for their child, for their brother. And so, very good day, very powerful, 2 good days. And so you can see a couple pictures there. Mrs. Farnsworth, and then you have Carrie Ball Hodge and Amanda Sims. And then you can see Larry and Deb and talking about AI and some other things. And so a great 2 days was had by all, and we got a lot of great feedback. Our administrators were able to give feedback on each day, and so we'll take that and kind of put that together and when we do it again. So, but very, very positive from everybody, very engaging, and so I just want to thank everybody that participated, and it was an outstanding 2 days. I think we all had a lot of fun. We're still talking about it, and I think some of the administrators are still talking about it, and I think we're ready for the new year. So I want to thank our team for doing that. So it was great. And next, we'll bring up Ms. Meunier again to talk about our financial statements. So thank you, Ms. Meunier.
You're welcome, Mr. Doherty. We were talking about the present and the future. Now we're going to talk about the past a little bit. I did also want to mention for part of our school readiness that we had a big meeting with all of our school financial secretaries and department financial secretaries, and they are ready to go for the new year as well. I just wanted to give a shout out to them because they're great. They work really hard with all the different hats they wear besides just the finance hat. So for right now, we're going to talk about the cash flow analysis. I can't believe we're already through a whole nother year. Wow. We started on the very far left and in July of 2024, just completed our June of 2025. So all of our numbers are actuals, no more projections on here. I will say we are working on our closing entries for the year end. So we have a few more accruals when we receive money in July and August that needs to be accrued back. That really belonged in the 24-25 year, as well as some expenditures, but these are really, really close to almost being done. I'm not going to say perfect. But these are our unaudited financial statements before our auditors come in, which they will be here next month, so we're getting ready for them. That'll be fun. So I wanted to point out just something of note on this, all of these numbers. We won't go over each and every one of them because I know y'all studied them beforehand. If you look at the very, very top number in the far left in green, the beginning balance of $64.8 million, that was our fund balance that was unassigned at the beginning of this fiscal year. When we were going through the budget process for this year, the board said we need to really bring down our fund balance because we had saved some over the years during COVID with ESSER dollars where we were able to have some savings. And we don't need too high of a fund balance. So we needed to spend some of that on our non-recurring expenditures, some one-time expenditures. So we planned on spending $4.6 million of that fund balance. So as you go through all your columns, we get down to the end to June, and then we have our total for the year. The number in the green all the way to the far right is where we actually ended up. We had budgeted for $4.6 million. We were a little tiny over that of $5.5 million. So that's only an $878,000 difference. And again, we're still working on closing entries, so that is almost perfect. So we are coming down to $64.7 million as a fund balance, as opposed to $64.8 million that we started the year. I just thought that was great, that we did a really good job. Y'all did a really good job as the board for getting us to that number. The little block that's to the right of that shows the $300 million, 41,140 is our budget for this current year. And the board has adopted a policy that we don't want to ever go below 18% while we're going through our budget year. So we'll be at 21.5%. Right about there whenever we start this new year for 25-26. So I feel like we did great. Y'all did great. Our next set of reports is our balance sheet for our assets and liabilities on the first form on the left-hand side. We are right on target with where we had predicted, where we budgeted. Again, we feel like these are really good numbers that we've been working on our closing entries, and we will end our year around the $64.7 million mark for our fund balance. The next report that's over on the right-hand side, this is our 30,000 mile view. Mr. Lee, we'll talk about some more details as we go through. We'll be able to bring some other reports. Talking to the Finance Committee probably this year, Mr. Guthrie, Mr. Lee, just some different reporting formats. We've been doing this for several years, so if a different format is better, we're all about that. It's great. We would love to share some more information. High-level view, just wanted to point out some of the first column as of June 30th, 2025, our budget versus actual column. We did receive some additional property taxes. That was not because of a tax increase. It was from our assessments, some additional interest earnings. We did have a reduction in some of our state monies because of our decrease in enrollment. We did get some additional state manufacturing depreciation money. So overall, you'll see it where it shows a negative 2%. That's really a positive on the revenue side we received more revenue than what we had projected of 2% here. And then for our expenditures, if you look down, we're at 2%. So we balanced out, just like right on the money. So proud of all of our people. They did a good job, everybody. So our ending fund balance right down there in the middle is that $64.7 million. So those were all of the high-level dollars that I was going to present to you tonight, if anybody has any questions. Okay.
I do have a quick question. It's actually, it's financial related, but it's not financially related, and you may not have this information. Do we have any sort of trend, or do we know as far as students that have registered so far through facts and fees, registration, like what we're looking at this year potentially versus last year, years prior?
You're talking about projected enrollment at this point. There are a few schools that we don't have overall, but I know there's a couple schools. I'll just give you Ashley Ridge. At one time, we thought they were going to have 24. Right now, they have projected, they think, a little over 2,500. But again, again, until you still see that student in seats, that's the only issue right now. I do not have any other numbers. When we were looking at that, I do know this, East Edisto will be over capacity when we start the year right now. I do know that one. That will be a big one. And then when we're looking at Sand Hill, until we get those classrooms, it's going to be very tight there until we get those additional classrooms. So they're actually over capacity. But when you get those classrooms online, it'll actually go down in, like, I believe 87% capacity, I think, when Kenny and I were doing the numbers. And so just looking at, those are our big hot items, big areas that we're really concerned. We're okay with Beach Hill right now at this point. But those are the big target areas that we're concerned about when you look at over enrollment, over capacity. And so that's where we're at. Sorry, I hope that answers. I couldn't answer all that, but those are the big hot areas that we're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Menet. And the only two items we have left on the superintendent's report will, thank you, Ms. Menet. Good job. Got to give you a clap there. The only other two items we have is for the board to approve the personnel report and the student enrollment recommendations.
All right, board members, we did receive that information in board docs. So is everyone okay to proceed with the personnel recommendations as in open session? Yes, okay, yes. Yes, okay, so motion, I think, to approve that made by Mr. Farnsworth. Do we have a second? Okay, second by Ms. King. Any questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Any questions for you on personnel? No, ma'am. Okay. Motion carries 7 in favor. All right, and then next we have our student enrollment recommendations. Is everyone okay to proceed with that in open session?
Just asking, can we potentially have a quick, it's already on the executive session, could we bring that to executive session just based on some comments from earlier
Student
this evening?
enrollment, absolutely, yes. So we will hold that vote for now until after we return from executive session. So I believe, does that conclude your superintendent's report then?
Yes, Dr. Wembley.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for all the great information. Sounds like y'all have been very busy bees over the summer. We appreciate all your hard work, and I am super excited for the start of this school year and so excited for all our kids coming back. They have no idea how much work has gone into making this a fantastic school year for them. So thank you to everyone. All right, and then the next item on our agendas are public comments on non-agenda items, and we do have one comment this evening. Mr. Jason Brockert.
So the other day, I received a letter from DD2. It's strange that you'll send me certified mail, but don't respond to my emails or ever address our family situation publicly. We're now into meetings for the 25-26 school year. So I'll remind you that you sat on your hands and stayed silent for the entirety of the 24-25 school year with respect to what happened to our son. I would like to address my behavior at the previous DD2 meeting. You see, it's been over a year since we lost our son, and DD2 hasn't genuinely attempted to work with us to change things for the better. During the meeting that we had on the 16th of May, I really thought you all would do something a little bit different. I thought that you would discuss holding a vigil for our youth that we're losing to suicide, for our youth who we are constantly just telling to cope instead of providing accountability. However, during the board meeting on the 19th, not a single word was mentioned, or until today, still nothing. That brings us to the June 23rd meeting. I proceeded to take the microphone from the stand and sing a profound song. I don't think you heard or appreciated that either. So I received a letter about my behavior. To be clear, if I break anything, I'll pay for it. That's never an issue. If anything happened to the microphone, that would have been on me. But how quick you are to forget how much my family has helped this district over the years. those of you sitting up here, this behavior is behavior that DD2 has earned from me, deserved. I've been speaking at this podium for nearly 5 years, all of which is on video. Go back and look at it. Call me on that if I'm lying. I have consistently spoken about respect, though rarely been shown it in return. The night of the insurrection, where 4 of the board members were present, maybe you'll remember, May 10th, 2021, and I was not the first person that was supposed to speak that night, but the district called me to speak first to set the tone for respect, which I did, and then still had to stand in front of teachers that were being attacked by parents. I have done that. I've been in that role. I've been here for the district for years. So review every single time I've been to this podium. Then watch it again, starting in November 11th of 2024, when I came back after we lost our son and asked you to just remove that 3-minute timer so I could speak to you like human beings. This board has operated under a flag of hypocrisy, and it's about time you start showing respect to a grieving family who has done nothing but fight for this district for years. Only after you snubbed us, after the loss of our son, have I turned up the volume on you. So yes, I sang a song. I broke your rules of decorum because your systemic failure to address bullying is a far greater disruption to children's safety than anything I could ever say here at this podium. You can continue to send letters policing my grief, or you can start addressing the chronic negligence that is costing children their lives. The choice is yours. My entire story with all the documentation is available for anyone to read at honoringjulian.com. I invite you to prove me wrong. Show me where a trash can is so I'm not littering.
Thank you, Mr. Brockert. All right, board members, next item on our agenda is an executive session. So at this time, I would ask for a motion to convene into executive session for student enrollment recommendations.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Lee, seconded by Ms. Powell. Any questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, we will call for the vote. Okay, motion carries 7 in favor. We are in executive session and we will return. I would ask for a motion to return to open session.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Guthrie, seconded by Ms. Powell. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Yes, she is. She's still on. And so the motion carries 7 in favor. We are back in open session. All right, board members, go.
Sorry, I make a motion that we accept the student enrollment recommendations as presented by the district.
All right. Motion to accept the student enrollment recommendations as presented. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. King. Any questions or discussion? Any discussion? All right. Hearing none, we will call for the vote. You're good. Motion carries 7 in favor. Okay, board members, at this time, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Ms. Powell, seconded by Ms. King. Oh, seconded by Ms. Bates, I apologize. Motion made by Ms. Powell, seconded by Ms. Bates. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Motion carries 7 in favor. We are adjourned.